What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another FPL video on the channel. And in today's one, we are going to be looking at my transfer plans for game week 12 as the redemption arc has started. The redemption arc is in full flow. We are coming off the back of a nice green arrow, and it's the first of many green arrows to come. I told you once, but I'll tell you twice. The comeback era has started. So if you don't believe, you better start believing. It's simple as that. But we are looking at my transfer plans for game week 12. Make sure you guys do smash a big thumbs up on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And first things first, we have to start off by looking at what my current team is looking like as we do head into the international break. So currently, as things stand for game week 12, as you can see on your screens, this is what my team is looking like. And to be honest with you, I'm going to be real with you guys, right? In my opinion, in my humble opinion, I think this team looks absolutely exquisite. I think this team looks absolutely sensational. I'll be honest. I mean, to be fair, right now as things stand, I'm rolling the transfer, baby. It's simple as that. They see me rolling. They hate it. I'm telling you right now, bro. I think this team looks absolutely sensational for game week 12. There's no way on God's green earth I need to make a transfer. I mean, look at this beautiful creation that I've made. We got Raya and Gabriel, double Arsenal defense against Spurs at home. Fantastic. Right? Then we got Munoz against Wolves away with Senesi against West Ham at home. Can't complain. Cannot complain whatsoever. Then in midfield, we got Sarr against Wolves away. Big boy. Jean-Philippe Mateta up front with Wolves away as well. Then Saka against Spurs at home. Then Enzo Fernandes against Burnley away. Mbeumo against Everton at home. Semenyo against West Ham at home. And then Haaland against Newcastle away. So we even got Anderson against Sunderland at home on the bench, right? So the team looks very, very good. It's very, very simple, right? This week, I'm rolling, right? I'm not going to bore you. I'm not going to waste time. I'm not going to pretend like I've got transfers planned for game week 12. No, right? We're rolling the transfer, as simple as that. But what I do want to do is have a look at future moves and what future things we've got planned with the team. But yeah, long story short, very happy with the way my team looks for game week 12. Hopefully, fingers crossed, right? Because you never know, we could end up getting an injury. During an international break. So hopefully that doesn't happen. I know Enzo spoke about not going on international break because of an injury, but I'm pretty sure that's just because of the knee injury that he's come back from. He doesn't want to aggravate it too much. I think he'd rather just chill and not play international football. So I think that's why he came out and said that. I don't think it's anything major to worry about. I expect Enzo to be fit and available, ready to play the game against Burnley. So yeah, with that being said, I've not really got any transfers planned, and as you guys can see currently as things stand, Mbeumo is my captain, but I'll speak more about captaincy in my team selection video. So yeah, for now, as it's the international break, we don't really have to think about captaincy too much, but I will say this, right? There's a good chance I do back against Erling Haaland this week, as he does have Newcastle away from home. But like I said, we'll speak more about that in my team selection video next week. But yeah, that's how my team looks currently for game week 12. So with that being said, let's go over to planfpl.com, right? And let's have a look at some of my future transfer plans and what we're thinking of doing moving forward. All right, guys, so we are on planfpl.com, and we're just going to have a look at some future moves with my team and sort of what road we are heading towards, right? Because as I said, the redemption has started, but we need to maintain the standard that we're trying to set for ourselves. If we're going to make a push for the top 50k, then our decision making has to be A1, right? It's got to be fantastic. We cannot afford to mess up, right? We have to keep pushing and getting those green arrows. So you're probably wondering, how on earth is a fraudulent FPL manager like you going to get green arrows? And well, I'm about to show you what my plan is. So with that being said, right, game week 12, of course, as I already discussed, I'm very, very happy with my team. Like, genuinely, if this team doesn't get a minimum of like 70 to 80 points, I'll be disappointed, right? I'll be honest, I will be very, very disappointed. But with that being said, right, let's move on to game week 13. The plan really for game week 13 is to potentially use 2 of my free transfers. Now, I could roll the transfer, right? Theoretically speaking, I could roll the transfer because once again, the fixtures are okay. They're not amazing, to be fair. They're not amazing, but they're okay, right? For me, like with the players that I've got, I wouldn't mind playing them in their fixtures that they've got in game week 13. However, although Game week 13, I do think rolling is a possibility. I think I might be a bit more aggressive. And instead of rolling, use my 2 free transfers. Now, first things first, what I do want to point out is currently as things stand, I do plan on using my triple captain on Erling Haaland, right? Leeds at home. I think it's a great fixture personally, right? So there's a decent chance I do triple captain Erling Haaland this week. Now, in terms of what 2 free transfers I've got planned for Game week 13, Bukayo Saka, right? Bukayo Saka, I think I might take him out, right? Now, this is not for sure. This is not 100% confirmed. But right now, what I'm thinking is take out Bukayo Saka because I think he's good. But is he worth 10 million? I'm not too sure, right? I'm not too sure. And looking at the fixtures that Arsenal have, right, real quick, right? If we look at the fixtures, you got Chelsea away, Brentford at home, Villa away. Those 3 games, I'm really thinking, how many points do we really see Bukayo Saka getting in these? Arsenal aren't this, high, free-flowing, goal-scoring team, number 1. But also, number 2, we've seen Villa have a bit of resurgence. Villa have come back in form, performing really, really well. I think that'll be a difficult game away from home. Brentford at home is not too bad, but then Chelsea away as well, that could be a little bit difficult. Wolves at home is great, but by this point, you guys will see in a second, I do plan to go to triple Arsenal defence, right? So I don't think taking out Saka is a bad pick, a bad choice at all. Now, replacing him with Foden is what I'm thinking at the moment. I do feel like this season Foden has stepped up a level, right? And I feel like in the Champions League, of course, he got a brace against Dortmund. I feel like this is the start of like Foden's good form, right? These fixtures here, because you look at the fixtures: Leeds at home, Fulham away, Sunderland at home, Palace away is tough, but then West Ham at home, Forest away. Like these games here, I just look at it as such good fixtures, and I think Foden's playing well. He's getting 90 minutes every game. He's starting week in, week out, and we know how explosive, we know the upside of a player like Phil Foden. So with that being said, I do feel like taking a punt on Phil Foden because I know he's going to be a massive differential, but I don't think it's illogical because is he getting the minutes? Yes. Is he looking threatening on the eye? More times than not, yes. He's getting into good spaces, he's creating chances, but also getting in good positions to score goals himself, and that's what I like. Now, the underlying data isn't necessarily like amazing for Phil Foden, right? I'm not going to kid myself, and I'm not going to sit here and pretend like the fixtures for the underlying data for Foden is amazing because it's not necessarily amazing. Like you guys can see, he's got 0.35 expected goal involvement per 90, right? But the thing is, with someone like Phil Foden, he is a player, right, that has just got the footballing ability to score goals from outside the box, just outside the box. That sort of that trademark Foden move where he picks the ball in the half space or a pocket, gets the ball on a turn. It's a quick open up and bang, a shift and shot, right? Foden's got that in his locker. It's how he scored his brace against Dortmund, and I can see him replicating those kind of goals with the fixtures that Man City do have against teams like Leeds at home, Sunderland at home, West Ham at home. Those home games against these sort of deep blocks, I see that happening a lot. And the thing is, those shots from outside the box, they don't go well with underlying data, right? The underlying data is not going to register those shots as high XG shots, right? So for me, Foden is a rare sort of, he's a different player, right? He's a rare player where for me, I don't want to look too much into the underlying data because I know the kind of player and the play style that Foden has, right? So yeah, for me, look, long story short, right, because I don't want to waffle on for too long, I just think it could be worth taking a punt on Phil Foden for Game Week 13. Now, with that being said, that also does free up a lot of money, 2.2 million. Now, with that being said, that would mean I could upgrade Rodon to someone like Virgil van Dijk, and that's also another reason why I think getting in Foden is very, very good because realistically, it then becomes a choice between Saka and Rodon versus Foden and Virgil van Dijk. And for me, I think Foden and Virgil van Dijk is much better than Saka and Rodon, especially when you look at the fixtures coming up for both Man City and Liverpool. Like getting in Van Dijk in Game Week 13, the entry point is good. It's West Ham away. After that, Sunderland at home, then Leeds away, then Brighton at home, Spurs away, Wolves at home, Leeds at home. So you can see here, Liverpool, I want a piece of their defence, right? And Virgil van Dijk, I know their defence hasn't been amazing, but I would say, of course, they got slapped up by Man City 3-0. But in recent weeks, right, looking at the Aston Villa game, looking at the Real Madrid game in the Champions League, they've been a bit more solid defensively, right? So I don't mind going for someone like Van Dijk, who's also got good DEFCON potential and a set piece threat as well. So I think that makes most sense to me. Then in this week, right, game week 13, I'd bench Enzo Fernandez against Arsenal at home. I'd play Virgil van Dijk against West Ham away, and I'd also play Phil Foden against Leeds at home. So yeah, that's what I'm thinking at the moment for my 2 free transfers in game week 13. I do think taking a punt on Phil Foden it is the way to go, man. I really do. You might disagree, and that's fine. And I've had some bad experiences in the past with a player like Phil Foden, but I just feel like if there's ever a time where he's going to explode, it's going to be during this fixture run. I really do believe so, because he is playing good football this season, and we know when Phil Foden gets into that flow, when he's playing at his best, he can be unstoppable at times. He can really rack up those goal contributions. So yeah, that's why at the moment I'm thinking Phil Foden could be the one to go for. Now, moving on into game week 14, the plan would be just to roll the transfer because my team looks really, really good. Yeah, we got a double Arsenal defense against Brentford at home. We got Munoz, Sarr, Mateta against Burnley away. We got Senesi and Semenyo against Everton at home. Virgil against Sunderland at home. And Mbeumo against West Ham at home. And then Haaland and Foden against Fulham away from home. Now, I've got Enzo on the bench. I could start him for maybe Senesi. That is an option. But right now, I would say maybe just play Senesi and, hope that he gets defensive contributions and a clean sheet. But yeah, that's how my team would look for game week 14. I'm very, very happy with it. We then move on to game week 15. And for game week 15, once again, I've got 2 free transfers. Now, this is where I'll probably take out Senesi. Because, yeah, I don't really see Senesi getting a lot of clean sheets in this game moving forward, right, from game week 15 onwards. You've got Chelsea at home, United away, Burnley at home is nice, but then Brentford away, Chelsea away, Arsenal, Spurs. I don't see Bournemouth getting a clean sheet, right? So, yeah. Other than that Burnley game, the fixtures aren't great. I know he's good for DEFCON, but I'm more than happy to remove him. Now, my plan is to just get someone like Thiaw from Newcastle, because Newcastle play against Burnley at home, which for me just feels like a guaranteed clean sheet, if I'm honest. So, yeah, 4.9 million, I can go for Thiaw of Newcastle, which is nice. And then I could also downgrade Enzo to King. Now, because we get 5 free transfers, the reason why I'm doing this Enzo to King move, I don't need to do it, but the reason why I'm doing it is because we get topped up with 5 free transfers in game week 16, right? So I want to use both 2 free transfers so I get topped up with my full 5 free transfers, because if I don't use this transfer and do Enzo to King, technically speaking, I only get 4 free transfers, right? So yeah, I want to make sure I've used all my transfers by game week 15 and I've downgraded Enzo to King because it helps me in the future. So now moving into, so yeah, that's how my team would look in game week 15, and I do like it, right? We've got Virgil against Leeds, we've got Thiaw against Burnley at home, we've got Semenyo against Chelsea at home, which is nice, double City attack against Sunderland at home, triple Palace against Fulham away, I don't mind it, and then double Arsenal against Villa away. So the team looks decent, and then Mbeumo against Wolves as well, right? So I don't mind the team. I think it looks good. Then we move on to game week 16. And as you can see, we've been topped up with 5 free transfers, which is very, very nice. And this allows me to do a lot with my team. Now, this is pretty much the time where I think Mbeumo and Sarr potentially could be leaving. I don't think it's 100% confirmed. It could be game week 16. It could be game week 17. But let's just say, because again, things could change, but we don't know for certain, right? But let's just say game week 16, they're going off to AFCON, right? So with that being said, these are the transfers I have in mind. Now, first things first, I will take out Thiaw. I know I just bought him in, but that was literally just for the Burnley game. I take out Thiaw. I mean, I've got 5 free transfers, so I might as well use them to my advantage, right? So take out Thiaw and get in Yuri and Timber and go to triple Arsenal defense. I don't mind it at all. More than happy to do that. I think my defense looks really, really good in that case. Triple Arsenal defense with Van Dijk and Munoz. Honestly, arguably the best defense to go for at this stage in the game, in my opinion, right? Now, I want to also get some more Liverpool players in my team. So Ismaila Sarr, bye my friend. But yeah, I'd probably get rid of Ismaila Sarr, potentially go for a player like Gakpo, and also potentially take out Mbeumo and Semenyo as well, right? And Barnes. So what I want to do is triple up on Liverpool, get Hugo Ekitike, right? I think Ekitike could be a really a really, really good player, because you've got to remember Mohamed Salah is going to go off to AFCON, right? So with no Salah in this Liverpool team, the chances of Ekitike and Gakpo starting are quite high, in my opinion. So yeah, that's why I want to bring in a double Liverpool attack and go to Ekitike and Cody Gakpo. Now, who am I going to replace Semenyo and Mbeumo with? Now, one of them is a cheap midfielder, someone like Potts of West Ham, for example. That's fine. But the other player I do want to get in is potentially, anyway, again, things could change, but right now as things stand, I'd say someone like Dango. And that's because Brentford have some really tasty fixtures. Leeds at home in game week 16, then Wolves away in game week 17, Bournemouth at home, Spurs at home, Everton away, Sunderland at home. Those fixtures are quite good. And at the time of recording, as things stand, Dango has put up some decent underlying data, along with Kevin Sade as well. Kevin Sade is also a possibility. It could be one of Sade or Dango, but let's just say right now I do go for Dango. Yeah, that's how my team would look, and I don't mind it. Of course, I've used all 5 free transfers. Now, by the time we get to this point, I might not want to use all 5 free transfers, or I might not even have to use all 5 free transfers, because maybe Mbeumo is going to play, and maybe Sar's going to play, and in that case, I might just play them anyway, right? Because Mbeumo's got Bournemouth at home, I don't mind it. Sar's got City at home, I don't mind it too much, right? So I'm more than happy to play them if they're going to be with the squad. But of course, the closer we get to this period, the more information we'll have. Now, what I will say is this leaves me with 1.5 million in the bank. Now, I'm not set in stone on this, and I do think this is a good team. I do like bringing in the Liverpool players, but I'm not set on it completely. Alexander Isak is also another player I've considered, because I do think with Salah out the team, he could potentially be on penalties as well. But he's just too expensive, I think, man. 10.4 million. I'm not sure if that's worth it. So one thing I was thinking, right, maybe I just stick with Ekitike, but I might not double up on the Liverpool attack. I might get rid of Gakpo and instead go for Bruno Fernandes. That is a possibility, because with Mbeumo gone, with Amad Diallo gone, there's an argument to be made that Bruno Fernandes could be pushed further forward. Maybe a Kobe Minu comes into the starting 11 and plays alongside a Casemiro or a Ugarte, and maybe Bruno Fernandes goes into one of the 10 roles, which would make him a little bit of a better pick, in my opinion. So that potentially could happen, but I do like the fixtures that Man United do have from game week 16 onwards. The only thing is, like, with the loss of Amad, with the loss of Brian Mbeumo, that does make us a lot weaker as a team. So I'm not sure if I would want to still go for a Man United player with the loss of Amad and with the loss of Brian Mbeumo. So it's something I've got to think about. But again, it's just, you know, I'm just putting my thoughts out there really to you guys. You know, nothing's confirmed. This is game week 16, so much could change. Injury, suspension, form, so much could change. But right now, I'd say, yeah, Gakpo's an option for this spot. Bruno Fernandes is an option for this spot. Of course, I can't go to a Saka because I've got triple Arsenal. I mean, I could actually go to Saka if I didn't put in Timber, which is a possibility. I could go Saka and maybe I keep Thiaw, for example. That is a possibility. I could do that. But I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, we are entering. Downside with going for like a Timber is the fixture congestion period that we are entering. That is like, yeah, that could be a problem, because if Ben White is fit, for example, then so we've got Timber to play against Wolves, Everton, Brighton. I mean, it's not too bad actually. I mean, he'll definitely play Wolves. He'll definitely play Everton. He'll definitely play Brighton. Probably plays Villa as well, but does he play Bournemouth on top of that as well? I'm not too sure. Whereas Saka, we know for a fact, right? Saka is not going to be benched. Saka will not be benched. So maybe I go Saka instead of Timber. I'm not sure, but I do quite like Timber and Gakpo. So that's where I'm at right now. Anyway, things could change. Like I said, things could change. But yeah, that's sort of where I'm at right now, like my future transfer plans. I don't want to go any further than that really, because as I said, so much can change, so I don't really want to keep going on and on and on. I kind of just want to use game week 16 as like the cutoff point, right? Because we get topped up with 5 free transfers, and it's like a mini wild card, really, right? So yeah, I feel like what I need to do is, there's a couple things I need to remember, is that in game week 19 we get a whole set of chips again, number one, so I need to prepare for that. But number two, we do enter sort of a fixture congestion period as well. So I need to bear that in mind, and I need to make sure I'm picking players that I know factually are going to start game in, game out, right? Because I don't want any rotation issues. So you could even argue maybe the Liverpool players is not really the best to go for, because they could experience some rotation there. We're going to have to wait and see, man. I'm not too sure, but we're going to have to wait and see. But nonetheless, my plan up to game week 16, I like a lot. I feel like the team looks very, very strong. I think it looks solid. And I'm very happy to take a punt on someone like a Phil Foden. Very, very low ownership, differential, but really, really explosive. And that excites me a lot. That does excite me a lot. So yeah, let's see what happens anyway, guys. Let's see what happens with that. But currently, that's where my thinking is at the moment. I'm going to leave it there, but that is going to be it now for my transfer plans video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really do hope you enjoyed. If you did, smash a big thumbs up on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Hit that notification bell as well so you never miss an upload. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. It's been your boy FPL Ryan, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. But until then, I'm out. Peace.